Hello everybody, I have the great pleasure today to be here with Vijay Tirathrai from Techstars. Welcome Vijay.
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning. Yes, so Vijay is actually the MD for Techstars, and right now you're based in the Middle East, is that correct?
That is correct. Abu Dhabi precisely.
Beautiful. Now tell us a little bit more what you're doing at Techstars.
Yeah, of course. Techstars, you probably know, is a global network to help entrepreneurs succeed. And we have community programs such as startup weekends. But the area that I'm involved with is accelerators. Now we've got 50 accelerators around the world. And essentially we look at seed stage companies, very early stage. We look for amazing founders, we onboard them and put them through a 3 months mentorship driven program. And typically we invest about $120,000 and we get them access to a global network. And we have a bunch of different global network partners that provide perks and benefits. And we see amazing transformation after that 3 months. So as an MD, I'm particularly involved in identifying, sourcing, and recruiting these companies that I think will be most appropriate for the accelerator. And it's just a fun journey, Karen, really.
Brilliant, yes.
Yeah.
And you have been before here in Asia, right? You had a different geographical focus before, is that correct?
Well, I mean, we have now, I think, close to about 50 programs around the world, mostly in the Americas, Europe.
Right.
In Asia, we're still pretty in its infancy. We've got 2 programs out in Singapore, one to be launched in Korea shortly. We're looking for new opportunities, but the companies do come from all over the world, though. So even if we might have a program in Paris or in New York, we do have companies from Hong Kong, we do have companies from Japan, Korea, etc. So our sourcing is global, and many of these programs are vertical focus, such as fintech, mobility, food, music, you name it. The ones that I run out of the Middle East, specifically in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, is a vertical agnostic program. So we take companies from all over the place.
Yes, brilliant. Yes, and Techstars was actually really one of the very, very first, programs and companies running accelerators, right? And really invented that concept and brought it to the world.
That
right?
is absolutely correct. We don't want to take claim to it, but I think we coined the phrase accelerator.
Yeah.
Over 12 years, I think we have amassed about 1,800 companies.
Oh,
and 90% of them are still active and thriving, which is really a very proud statistic.
Yeah.
You think about startups that generally don't succeed in the first 2 to 3 years, but to have 90% of them with us still thriving. And out of that, 10% have seen an exit, so either an IPO, but mostly M&As. And our value of the shares that we own is about $20 billion today. So it's pretty remarkable what we've achieved in the last 10 to 12 years.
That's brilliant. And it shows how you actually build an ecosystem around these companies, right? And also leverage the ecosystem to make sure the companies can scale to that, success.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm glad you kind of pinpoint ecosystem, because I think that really makes the journey of the entrepreneur successful, because really without the support of the ecosystem, it's very hard to go alone. Fundraising, getting access to corporates with business opportunities, right? Trying to get the best perspectives from legal to finance, you really need the support of the community. And getting, I think, maybe I'm biased here, right? I'm speaking from an accelerator's point of view, but I think if you think about what we generally do is we engage the community through the accelerator for the benefit of the founders. We always put the founders first in terms of what we do. So from the word go, they have this incredible resource that they just exploit, but in a good way, and with that to support them through their journey.
Right, absolutely. And then, you talk about fundraising and, your huge experience, and we were glad to have you this morning with us with, the WHub/AngelHub organized breakfast series. This one was particularly about pre-A investment, right? So was there anything that surprised you on the panel, the questions from the floor or something that your co-panelists mentioned?
Well, actually, credit should be given to you. We met in Philippines a couple of weeks back.
True.
It wasn't for you, I would not be in Hong Kong today.
Thank you.
But thank you for that. I really
Power of
appreciate
ecosystem and conferences, right?
There you go. No, but I think it was a good decision, and thank you for having me on the panel this morning. And I think what I took away was such an energetic engaging audience, right? And that's what I like about Hong Kong. It's just so vibrant and full of energy. The questions were great. I think there are a lot of very specific nuance with the geography, particularly with mainland China, and how you deal with investors from a traditional mindset. I'm learning all of that because it's not something I deal with on a day-to-day basis. But the questions pertaining to what does investors look for, to how you scale your business, those issues I would say are pretty universal. So whether you're in the Valley, you are in Paris or Middle East, in Hong Kong, very similar issues. What investors are looking out for. You're looking for great teams, credentials, the ability to execute, some traction where necessary, but really having the key domain knowledge in terms of the space that you operate. That came, I think, across all the panelists repetitively as a key theme. So I'm very delighted to be part of this opportunity and to connect with the fellow panelists.
Great, no, thank you. And you talked about Hong Kong and you talked about the vibrancy, and we're obviously very, very proud how far our ecosystem has come. Where do you see the advantages of Hong Kong and also like further potential for startups as well as for investors?
I love Hong Kong. I mean, I actually worked here many, many years ago in the 90s and had a business here, but in a more traditional sense, a marketing office for outsourcing production out of China and Asia for Western markets. It's a really most efficient marketplace in the world, and I think Hong Kong continues to be that. But fast forward 25 years, it's really still has a very efficient marketplace in terms of the nexus between investors, founders, ecosystem enablers all coming together, and the rapid ability to connect and to build those connections and deal flows is really where I think Hong Kong is really attractive. I think what you guys doing at WHub, AngelHub, etc., is a lot of accolades should be going to you, because that's really what you're doing, is bringing the community closer and together. We love to connect with you guys because that's really a go-to place to be able to meet the right people in the most efficient way. So Hong Kong for me is really a spot on the map, in the global map, that cannot be ignored, particularly in the doorsteps of mainland China. You have a tremendous amount of activity. I believe that this year alone, the entire venture investments will exceed what it is in the United States. And for the very first time, the momentum or the center of gravity has shifted to Asia. That's what I personally believe. Hence why I'm here.
Great, brilliant, yes. And we love obviously that we're the center of the gravity here for at least a week, again with Rise in town. Startup passion all over the city. I want to ask you, what is your startup passion?
Okay, so it's very, very tricky for me to pick your favorite child.
True.
Right. Because we do see, I mean, we made a lot of investments, right? But there's one that I keep often talking about, and I brought it up this morning, is Fluke Auto, which is building, a cargo drone for moving high value, high pressure cargo for the oil and gas market. It started as a flying car, and I had this, I grew up with the Jetsons, right? As a kid.
Oh, true. Okay.
So I had this little passion
I
about
remember
flying
them
cars.
as well. Yes.
So you do. So that has always been a bit of a childhood dream to see that come into reality.
Yes.
And when they did a pitch to me, 18 months ago, wow, that would be pretty cool if you could execute this.
Yeah.
And what an amazing team. And of course, they've iterated and pivoted the business quite a bit to serve the cargo segment as opposed to passengers. But a day will come. We'll be in a flying car. Oh,
brilliant. Oh, I hope I'm going to fly that car, together with you then. Brilliant. Vijay, it was so great having you here. So again, this was Vijay Tirathrai, MD at Techstars, and we are here in Hong Kong during Rise Breakfast Series, WHub, AngelHub. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And by the way, if you are interested in Techstars, just log on to techstars.com and you can apply to multiple programs around the world. I'm sure there's something for you. We are the world's best accelerator.
That's a wonderful closing word. Thank you. Bye.